Greetings and welcome to a Friday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is September 19th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing great. I'm back at home making bad decisions. That's
What does that
living
mean?
life.
What is bad as playing horse for more money than you can afford? What does bad decisions mean?
Just getting walked down a plank on a potential another pet in the household.
Oh God, get out of here with oh my God. Like, can we like goldfish or like a pet that's going to impose its will on you?
Maybe a cat.
Oh my God. Can't like coming through the back door here.
Maybe a good house cat. Just so
KVV in the fold. Cats is coming. I don't know when, but it's coming. That's an absolute guaranteed lock stock. We have KVV waiting in the wings to do a great Flashback Friday. He may pop in here or there. If you want, you can may jump in. You're going to get a cat.
If you're going to talk about cats, it's very tempting to jump in now, but I'll save it for later.
What a weird bit of, phenomenon that's just carried on now for like 4 or 5 years. Just incredible. You made that. I mean, KVV made that offhand comment to me once, or I don't know what, and it has become, moot. Like Xander's such a house cat, right? Like he's just loves a top 5 machine, and then we just have it's perpetuated now for 3 or 4 years. I would put that in the bad decision category, but different strokes for different folks, and then
that's why I said it. Back at home, making bad decisions.
There you go. All right, this could be a random whip around Friday. I'm worse for the wear. I had a school outing all day, my kids' school outing, cart path only, 134 choppers or whatever it was, 6 hours. Kids baseball game, right into a kids baseball game, which just you don't need that. You know what my favorite baseball saying is? We're not going to do letters from dead broadcasters, but real quick, watching youth baseball, there might be a kid who can't get the bat off his shoulder, might have zero chance. My favorite saying is, now you've seen it. The third base coach, kid just throws gas. Kid didn't even might not even seen the ball come out of his hand, doesn't even know that a pitch occurred. And my favorite one's like, now you've seen it, just completely hopeless. All the other ones, secondary, get your secondary lead. I grew up playing baseball. I never heard that once, yelling at you. You just hear that over and over again. So my brain is mush after a lengthy golf outing and 2.5 hour
Was it a high-scoring game?
Baseball game?
Yeah.
It was lopsided. It was, I lost track. It's like 5-run innings, walk. And it was probably like 12-1 or something like that. I don't know.
My dad was this baseball junkie. He was he sold
gloves, right?
Baseball gloves. Yeah, like he was Rawlings Major League Baseball like rep. He played college baseball. He for like a semester or a year, and he told me. So I quit playing baseball. I don't know, maybe around like age 13 or so. I said, Dad, I don't want to play baseball anymore. I want to just play golf in the summer. And my dad told me later in life that it was the happiest day of his life because he no longer had to sit at doubleheaders on Saturdays and Sundays in the heat and instead got to go play golf with me.
Not good. I think it's the worst one. I don't know. We'll put that to a poll. Swim meets and track meets might qualify because your kid's in action for 30 seconds out of 3 hours. But baseball's tough scene.
So some people pay like 6 figures in therapy bills just to hear those kind of things, Andy. So that's I'm very proud and happy for you.
That's great. All right, let's jump into it. Where do we want to go here? I'm just going to do whip around here. We have a conclusion of one event. We don't need to talk about the bullet. Marcus Armitage is leaving the French Open.
I was going to talk about Julian Guerriere, if he's a snub, Ryder Cup snub. We're in snub season right now. Anything anybody does, they're a snub.
I mean, I'm sorry. No one at the French Open is a snub at this point. Hugo Cousseau, you think he's a snub? I was
going to say Marcus Schindhold.
Muscat Marcus. They needed a Swedish pair for Ludwig. We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about LPGA hasn't even started. Champs Tour hasn't started. And we do have a conclusion, though. The Mid-Amateur, USGA Mid-Amateur Championship. Brandon Holtz, Lou's grandson, I believe, won 3-2 over Jeg, not Jeb, not Jed, Jeg Coughlin the third. Nice little Roman numerals from Dublin, Ohio. Had Kevin Streelman on his back. I saw caddying for Jeg. He lost 3-2 in the finals. Brandon Holtz, who was a pro for a lengthy amount of time. I think 7 or 8 years. I saw a quote. He had a fun quote. He's like, I just love playing for cash. That's why I was a pro. Like, just right out with it. It's just so fun playing for cash. And then I just fell off. But congrats to him. He played college basketball at Illinois State. Where's that? In Illinois.
It's in Bloomington. It's as close to normal as you can get.
What does that mean? Like a normal city?
Bloomington is right next to a town called Normal.
Oh, okay.
Normal, Illinois.
Okay.
That's my constant joke anytime somebody's from Bloomington. I ran into somebody from Bloomington the other day, and I said that, and they loved it.
So he's probably going to the Masters, Shinnecock for the 26th U.S. Open. Big story, 7 of 8 quarterfinalists at the Mid-Am played professional golf before regaining the amateur.
Let's talk about Holtz for a second here.
Okay, sure.
This is an incredible story. He didn't play college golf.
No.
He was not even he played high school golf, but he was a basketball player.
Played hoops.
This is amazing. He had basically no golf tournament experience until after college, which he played, not like super high level, but Division I basketball.
Yeah.
And now he won the Mid-Am.
He's going to the Masters. Going to the US
played
Open.
Low level pro golf.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I think we're going to get into a discussion here. I've got actually a few mutual friends of Mr. Holtz.
Okay.
And one of them's a college buddy of mine who are twins, who fancy themselves as world-class athletes, and the only stories they could give me were stories of them beating Brandon in golf.
Okay.
Nothing of substance, just that they were better at one point than him. But now he's at the top Mid-Am in the country. But genuinely, everything I hear, fantastic guy, and obviously like great athlete, hits the shit out of the ball. Always has.
He looks like a thick, like just a built, not thick, well-built fella. Beats Justin Huber 19 holes in the quarters. Beats Christian Cavalier, the BC grad. I thought we had a BC fella going to the Masters there for a minute, and then beats
the only am in the field of the final 8
and of the quarter. Of the quarters. So that was at Troon. Congrats to Holtzy. He's going to the 2 majors. Anything else? There's a lot of drama about the reinstated dams. Huber kind of got caught in the crosshairs. A lot of people chirping on Twitter and elsewhere. This is when it's kind of a slow week, but I get that it's substantive debate.
I think this is a real debate and should be debated. And the USGA, I think a couple years ago, got pretty lax with this, and now you're seeing the trickle effects of being lax with reinstated AMs. I think this is a delicate situation, but a guy who plays 6 years or whatever Huber played on the Korn Ferry Tour, he made 80 starts or something. I think
he was a pretty steady player there for a while. Yeah.
80, 90 starts on the Korn Ferry Tour. I think he made 300,000 plus on the Korn Ferry Tour. He won twice on the Latin American Tour.
I have 87 events played on KFT.
How many?
87. 49
87.
cuts made. Yeah.
Like this is not amateur golf where like you could just be like, hey, I guess I'm done, and then a couple years later you just pop up in the Mid-Am. Like,
Is
I'm
this a
sorry. This
time
is
frame
kind of how
for
I
you?
felt when I played in 2016. I didn't play college golf. I played a year of college golf, but didn't really play college golf.
Yes.
And I'm like sitting on the range, and I'll never forget this. I'm sitting on the range, and there's Jess Daly. Jess Daly played at Northwestern. I went to like a camp as a kid that Jess Daly was a counselor. So like then naturally I followed his career, and I'm like, oh, this guy's played a bunch of tour events. This guy's played on the web.com tour forever. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I've worked jobs like where I had 10 days of vacation for a year, for like a couple years, like 10 days. I had a job where I just moved around the country and I very rarely played golf in my early 20s. Like, this is what I went through. This guy's just like playing pro golf. And this isn't the same. Like, the spirit of this tournament is working people who work for a living, who are good at golf. The spirit of the tournament is that, and now the identity of the tournament is reinstated AMs who played pro golf for sometimes decade plus, coming back and beating up on guys with jobs. It's kind of bullshit, and the USGA has allowed this to happen. And what they just have to do is set up a system and make it very clear. This is the way it works. I don't think, like, if you turn pro and play pro golf, that it should be a death sentence that you never get to play amateur golf again. But
a lot of people, I'll just interject here, are appropriately memorializing John Harris, one of the great amateurs of all time. Played 3 or 4 Walker Cups, last mid-am to win the US Am, had a PGA Tour card, was a PGA Tour player. Like, there's precedent for it.
Yes.
Had not just a KFT card or whatever it would have been called then. Had a PGA Tour card. Okay, but there's rules that need to be.
If you decide, if you don't make it, you should be able to play amateur golf again. But like, if you get to Korn Ferry and you've played a number of years on Korn Ferry, it can't be I sat out 2 years and I'm back.
What do you think it's got to be?
I've got a proposition for you.
All
right,
here.
if you turn pro, you decide to go pro, minimum 2 to 3 years. It's just like a flat, like 2 to 3 years.
From your last event?
From your last event.
Okay.
You figure it out, whichever one you want.
Yeah.
If you make it on the PGA Tour Americas or Challenge Tour, it's a year for every year you're on that tour.
Okay.
So if you're on the PGA Tour Americas for 4 years, you're out for 4.
Yep.
On top of that, what adds on to that is any year on the Korn Ferry Tour plus 2. 2 more years you sit out. So if you spend 5 years on the Korn Ferry Tour, I think it's appropriate that, like, I think this isn't actually unreasonable at all. In 10 years of you not getting to play competitive golf, you're probably like a working man.
Okay.
The issue is, like, if you just like roll off the Korn Ferry Tour, like, you know how sharp these guys are? You know how good they are? Like, it's just not the same as somebody that like might, like, a working man, a legit working man. I think like a reasonable tournament schedule, if you say I want to play mid-am golf, is like 6 events in a year. These guys are playing in 6 events is like 2-day events, maybe 1-day events. These guys, the Korn Ferry guys, are going from playing 80 freaking competitive rounds a year for 5 years.
I get, you've always hammered this point home of, like, it's about the competitive golf reps, right? It's at very elite to high levels. And I don't know. Like, are you sure these are quote unquote working men? The one that didn't spend time on the KFT or
listen, everybody's got different circumstances, and there are
this
people...
is what I'm saying. Yeah, you're getting into an individual audit.
You can't penalize someone for their upbringing.
I don't disagree, but I mean, there's legends of all these mid-ams from 1930 to the 60s to 70s of sweetheart car dealership deal. Go work on your short game or whatever, right? I mean, I don't it's just the pro who couldn't make it. And I get what you're saying. You are divorcing economic circumstances from competitive golf reps. The professional golf may be worse circumstances. He may have been scrapping it around and actually not have a pot to piss in after 6 years as a pro compared to the whatever amateur setup they had. But you cannot look at that. You have to look at competitive reps is what you're talking about. KVV has raised his hand on mute.
I would like to come up with a sliding scale based on what job you have, Andy. So you can get a year waived if you have a construction job. If you you work at a steel mill, you get 2 years waived. But if you're a realtor, then I think that, or you're in an
commercial real estate,
insurance
agent.
Yeah. If you work in media or PR, that's horseshit. You have to actually sit out your time. But if you're out there doing landscaping, I feel like we can say you're a real working man. That's all I have.
I just think there's so much gray area here with this.
Can I get to my final proposition of this? If you play on the PGA Tour or the European Tour, never again. You're gone. You are not coming back to the amateur game. That's it.
Wow.
So what about the Gary Nicklaus plan, where you get your reinstated AM back and then you turn pro again? So you can play on the senior tour. Do you think would that be allowed?
That's fine. But you have to wait. Did Gary Nicklaus play 1 year on the PGA Tour?
He did. He lost to Phil in the Houston Open, I believe.
So he would never have been able to get his amateur status back under
John
my
Harris
proposal. Yeah, not.
I mean, I don't want to. I mean,
Michael Muir, no go. I mean, Michael Muir was doing this he was a bona fide PGA Tour player, and everybody's like, oh, this guy's amazing. What a great mid-am. Oh, he's a PGA Tour player.
So you're kind of cutting people out for decisions they make or success they might have at 23 when why would you not want to try to, if you're good at golf, achieve the greatest things and somehow you make it as a PGA Tour pro for a cup of coffee, you're done. You're toast. It was 17 years later.
They can play in. They can play in local section events.
Sure.
They're just not a mid-am. The tournament is mid-am.
It is
for working. The spirit of the tournament is working professionals championship. Is the idea of the tournament. They wouldn't if they wanted it to be an open. There wouldn't be an age limit where you have to be 25.
All right. Just a can of worms, like Bobby Jones, right? Notoriously, I don't know, is he really an AM? Look at you. You're shaking your hand.
This is there are a lot of guys in this field that don't work for a living that are AMs. There are a lot of guys, there's a lot of guys in the field that have, family businesses that have been passed down. But at the bare minimum, they weren't pro golfers.
Okay, I'm listening to you say the spirit, I think that I get tripped up.
You can't litigate on somebody's financial situation.
I agree with you completely.
I'm just trying to create a system here that says this is how long you're out if you go pro, because right now, John Peterson is a reinstated AM.
He is.
He played on tour.
Selling garage doors.
Finished Texas, third or fourth in a U.S. Open.
Olympic, yep. As an amateur. I believe he was still an amateur when he did that. College kid.
Maybe a pro.
Maybe a pro by then. Yeah, it's an interesting discussion. I think they should have a 3-person tribunal that literally every single person in the field. It's a big field. How many is it?
It's 300 players.
Yeah, 300
some maybe.
and every person's got to come before the tribunal. And because I think there's so much gray area here. But
I think, they could have the great AMs, the legendary AMs who never turned pro be the voters.
I like that. No, I think there's something romantic about, mid-am actually being, regardless of economic situation, like that is the point of the whole deal. But it seems like we've hit peak reinstatement here with 7 of 8 quarterfinalists. It
people
feels
are
like
hot.
The discourse has never been
getting
more
so many text messages about this. There's a GoFundMe controversy going on. I'm just gonna stay out of that one. But there's apparently a GoFundMe controversy.
All right,
I'm staying out of it. I don't want to wade in that water. People can investigate on their own.
GoFundMe having whatever extra walking around cash for the mid-am.
The mid-am. I think if we ever sent an on the ground reporter, you could just dig up some crazy stuff at the mid-am.
What? Yeah, you got 344 people. Half of them are grumpy as hell about the next guy over who's pissed off about him. Dude, this isn't a level playing field. Just lots of scuttlebutt, I would imagine.
Oh, there's so much.
Congrats.
One of my favorites is like they're all buddies, but they all like will say shit about the other one. To you if you give them a few seconds of time.
Congrats to Brandon Holtz going to major championships next year. Wins out at Troon.
Honestly,
Scorcher.
I'm not trying to light all the I believe that people should be reinstated. And in Brandon Holtz's case, he never played on a PGA Tour, sanctioned tour. He was playing on the West Florida Tour,
Yep.
And he was playing in Illinois Opens. Like this is not a Korn Ferry Tour player playing. And I don't think it should be like your amateur career's over if you try and make it as a pro and decide not to.
Yeah.
But like this story of like not playing college golf and winning the mid-am is incredible. It's an amazing story. A guy from Bloomington almost won in, I think it was 2008 at Milwaukee Country Club. He lost in the semis or in the finals. Todd Mitchell was his name. Also from Bloomington and didn't play college golf, was a baseball player. So kind of cool that Brandon Holtz got it done, being from Bloomington, a basketball player. Bloomington's always got great amateur golfers too, like hotbed for amateur golf.
All right. I'm not getting.
I'm telling you,
absolute micro niche Bloomington amateurs.
You get in the Illinois amateur golf scene. You see a lot of Bloomingtons.
All right, other whip around. Let's go whip around Friday. U.S. Senior Women's AM Dawn Woodard in her 35th USGA start wins at the Omni Homestead Resort in Hot Springs, Virginia. Congrats to Dawn Woodard. Stacey Lewis retires, 40 years old. Winner of 13 LPGA champion titles and 2 major championships. World number 1. I would say probably the best American woman of her generation. Am I missing that? I think so. I think
fair.
It was for about a 10-year stretch where she was kind of the banner carrier. So congrats to her on a great career.
I'm gonna miss her quotes.
Riding off into the speaking of not amateur but elite pro, it'll never end. The block party will never end. Michael Block has won the Southern California section championship by 4, just woodshedding these guys. Woodshedding these people, and he'll be at the PGA West, the Amex. So he'll be back.
No way.
Someone got some picture. I'm sorry to have credit. He's got the arms out. Like, expect anything else? Just like, what'd you think? No way. So Blocky's back. We can't wait for next January to get Blocky. Just fast forward through the Ryder Cup to Blocky Mania.
I actually was thinking about this.
Yeah.
His 15 minutes is ended. Like Blocky Mania had finally died.
But he won't
this
let
summer.
it.
It died this summer.
Okay.
Like, he rode that PGA all the way, the 2023 PGA. He rode that fame to the summer of 25.
Raising Cane's, good. Just incredible
2+
run.
years. He milked that. And he's back.
He's back. I mean, someone sent me his record. It's just like he's missed like 30 of 31 cuts or something. Like incredible amount of starts at this point on the PGA Tour.
The stats don't lie. Remember when people were like, Blocky should be on the Ryder Cup team?
No, I don't remember that. That's bullshit. No one
Somebody said that.
I mean, I'm sure somebody said that somewhere. Anybody can say anything on the internet. But there were some preposterous like betting lines there for a while. He was like getting better odds from like real middle of the FedEx Cup.
That was the most crazy thing about the craziest thing about Block Mania. If we can revisit this for a second. Can I just... He's a delightful guy. I've met him. He's a delightful guy. The craziest thing about the whole situation was that we had this huge sample size of what he was. And at the time, he was 47, right? 46?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And people thought the PGA was not just a crazy outlier performance.
Aberration.
Like all the things we know about analytics, statistics, and like the presence of outlier events. And yet, like after Oak Hill, people were like, I mean, could he win at Colonial?
I mean, that's mania. That's the definition of mania. We discard all data and we get swept up in the mania.
I've heard Colonial sets up for for an old pro like Blocky. I mean, this has been said many, many times. I will add though, he turns 50 next June. If the Champs Tour sticks around, I mean, this is you'd think this is sponsoring Session Mania here.
I think Roll-Up's gonna turn the drawbridge up and raise it up on him. He's going to walk. The Champions Tour going to be gone. Just jam Blocky.
No way.
All right.
No way.
He
That's
just
what
needs
Blocky's
Rory.
going to say if he rolls the drawbridge up on him.
He just needs Rory's driving. Other news, Bethpage.
Roll-Up might be putting the kibosh on deals, you know?
I got to follow up with you on that. I don't think that one's right. So nobody understands what we just talked about. Bethpage Black is hosting KPMG Women's PGA in 28 and the PGA Championship in 2023. This was announced by the PGA of America. And in the press release, I didn't have it. Don Rea had some 25-word title. It's like the owner, operator, purveyor of vibes at Augusta Ranch Golf Course and Range in Arizona. It was so long. It's like you can't just say, quote, Don Rea. So they're
What's
taking
my personal opinion on it? There is no personal opinion. I'm the president of the PGA of America.
Blocky and Rea back to back. So they're doing women's PGA and PGA there at Bethpage, and they're going to Oak Hill in 2035. We said it was never going to happen again in May with the May PGA. So we're going
I got
back
a question.
to Rochester.
This leads me to wonder if there's undertones of a
move back.
A move back.
I don't think you allot the venue without. Do you think that's a lot? It's got to be locked in before you make the call. I don't think that's happening. I do love that they're going to Bethpage. Make of it what you will, as terms of its architectural merit, not being the best 50th course, whatever it is.
It's a great major championship host.
Great as we're seeing it pop off for the Ryder Cup. Yes, it's just a good thing to have it there. Not every year or every 5 years, but great that it's going back. Speaking of back, Sir Nick Faldo is back, baby. And I can't wait. NBC bringing him out of retirement. Ooh, he's ready to mumble his way into in his finest British accent or English accent. I don't want people getting mad at me. English accent. for NBC. I think they're going to have alternate booths with representatives from both sides of the. Do they have to be jingoistic? Like, I don't know if you're putting them in the booth together, you're essentially setting them up to be like an episode of Crossfire or something going on. First Take, I don't know. Dan Hicks in the afternoon with Fax and Paul McGinley, who I think was literally riding over on the European plane and in the team room at Wentworth. And then NBC is giving it's Terry Gannon, Noda Begay, and Nick Faldo in the morning.
Noda.
Look at your reaction. Faldo, Gannon, and Begay in the morning. So Noda is the American representative going up against Nick Faldo. I feel like he's going to get worked like a speed bag on that one.
Earnest question.
KVV's raised his hand.
Everybody
you go first,
on this
then
call.
KVV.
Would you rather have Noda or Marty
mean.
Smith on the telecast?
Don't be mean. I abstain. PJ, we'll throw you on the hot seat.
I think I'd rather have Noda. I can't take talking about not golf.
That's the right answer.
I just can't take it. I've been so far removed. I don't watch a lot of SEC football. Haven't thought about Marty in a long time. Feeling pretty good about it. It's too early. It's too early. We got to make it to December.
Kevin, what's your question? You have your hand raised.
I just whenever Faldo comes up, I always just have to share my favorite Faldo moment of his broadcasting career in the Masters in 2009. I always encourage people to go look this up. It's like an Easter egg. And Cabrera hits the ball, into the woods, and he's got to get up and down to get in this playoff. And it's this dramatic moment. And he's got probably an 8-footer on 18. And Nance sets it up so well. He's like, this is a putt that he's got to have. Sir Nick, what does this one do? And Faldo goes, no idea, Jim. People think I'm making this up, but you can go look at it in the YouTube broadcast. It's just so matter-of-factly like, I have no idea, Jim. It's perfect.
I remember a few, it was towards the end of his run. Colin Morikawa was just taking the tour by storm. And they set up the broadcast, and I think it was Nance said, Nick, what does Morikawa do so well? And he was like, we'll have a see today. We'll see what he does well today. No answer. And I love. Does he have like a ranch in Montana?
Yeah,
he does. Yes,
he's one of those
game day guest
carpetbaggers,
right?
It's
horrendous
for true Montanan.
Oh,
yeah.
So he's just been hanging out in Montana. I'm sure pro golf has been probably on the back burner in his life since it didn't seem like he was doing much of his homework before he left. I can't wait for his insights. Dinner. Honestly, I love Faldo.
Oh, he's had sort of a renaissance, a rejuvenation of his image, rehab of his image here as just sort of like the goofy uncle. These last where you don't have to listen to him every Saturday and Sunday. He's doing the picks. He's just on the hidden links ads and all these ridiculous things. He's popping in, with hot takes on Live. I think he was at the state dinner when Trump was at. Did you see that? They they like pan the room and you just see Faldo at dinner at his place setting. Holy shit, that's Nick
just
Faldo.
Chowing down on some mushy peas there.
Yeah, but congrats to Faldo. I'm glad to have him back. He should come in ready, just firing from the hip, rested. All right, I think that does it. We'll do quick rumor Friday, unsubstantiated rumor Friday. Maybe not rested and ready. Heard Patrick Cantley scenes on the South Florida range, grinding, going through it, working through it. Unsubstantiated rumor about Patrick Cantley. Maybe some tools being tossed about on the range in South Florida. That's as we roll into Ryder Cup week in a week.
You know what matches, he should do?
A couple days for showing up. What?
One way that he could maybe get out of the funk is to put on a nice piece of apparel that has UCLA logo and root on the Deshaun Fosterless UCLA team
I was going to say, it might be the worst team in the country, but that's okay.
But you know who has the comfiest collegiate gear in the business?
B. Dratty. I've got my BC stuff ready to go for this weekend. I believe we play Cal Berkeley. Your Cal Berkeley team coming to town.
Oh, the Bears? Bears are coming? Yeah, big Bears. ACC clash.
That's a big ACC clash. So we got them. You go to bdratty.com. Got a plethora of schools, ACC, SEC, Big Ten. They can add more and more on their kind of some of their best products, whether it's the Russ crew neck, the everyday vest, the polos, the Liam polo, the long sleeve polo for layering season, like crisper fall days when it's maybe in the mid 60s. Go to bdratty.com. Use the promo code SGS30. You get 30% off. It's a great time to stock up on their collegiate. They also have a lot of Ryder Cup stuff. I've got the crew neck on, the Russ crew neck, Ryder Cup screen print. So they've got kind of on-demand Ryder Cup stuff, a nice shop going there. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, like the Ryder Cup merch can get really garish, like way over the top, whether it's just, and they're going to have the sign motif of warning that next, but their stuff's classy. It's a nice touch. I know PJ likes this crew neck because it's very Long Island centric. There's no Empire State Building. There's nothing. It's Long Island on the sweatshirt or on the crew neck. So they've got that and collegiate. You go to bdratty.com. Use the promo code SGS.
I just got a crew neck that I really like. I'll put it up on the Instagram from them. A different one.
Oh, really?
But,
love it. They got Andy
hoodie.
What
the talk of the college football scene is?
Illinois, Indiana.
That's right.
Where's that game? In Indiana, right?
In
game days there? Yeah.
Let me wear my Russ crew neck.
Good luck.
Illini Russ crew neck. Saturday night.
Best of luck.
Hopefully some future mid-ams in the stands that are watching, future realtors / mid-ams.
Do we want to do any golf advice? Before we get to KVV, or you just want to jump into KVV Flashback Friday? Putting it to a vote here.
We could do one fast one.
Why don't you throw golf advice? sgsgolfadvice@gmail.com. So Kevin, jump in for this as well. We've had the inbox is full. So you know what? After Ryder Cup, there's going to be a lot less golf to talk about. So we're going to be hammering golf advice. So keep sending them. We're stocking up on them. What do you got, Andy? I got a few, but
I got one that I have to read. This is inspired by a letter that was written this week. Or it wasn't written. It was written months ago by Bob Uecker for the Brewers, but it had intricate details. It's actually a letter from Zach Johnson to Keegan. Dear Keegs,
did someone really send this to the email?
Kate Tizzle. If you're reading this, it means I'm already dead. Not in the literal sense, of course. But I'm certainly dead to a large group of U.S. golf fans. That's what the Ryder Cup is. Your coffin.
Oh, my God.
And that's why I wanted to send you this letter. Honestly, I can't believe you aren't playing. Do you think that was the boys' club way of keeping you off the team again? It was totally their call last time. Definitely not mine. You see, that. Kegels, being captain means embracing the
Kegels.
So what do you call Justin Thomas? Jay Tizzle? What was that? Where this is coming from? All right.
God.
You see, Kegels, being the captain means embracing accountability. It's the captain's job to prepare his guys to play and ultimately to win. Being captain means you get to interject your opinion all across the board. What hat brands should we go with? What wine pairing should accompany our meal at the fourth team dinner of the week? Heck, even club selections for your players. You should be involved. Doesn't matter if they have caddies. You are the captain, so you know best. Just make sure you don't hand a 3-wood to a sprayer. How was I supposed to know Spieth was going to rinse it? They say being a captain requires a lot of preparation, so turn that hat around and ask the guys what they want. Preparedness is a myth. This is a buddy ball event. You'll hear some people tell you to lean into the data, but if the guys don't vacation together, how on earth would you expect their games to complement one another? That's what I said to Dodo Molinari back in Rome. If you ask me, data is overrated. And if the crowd starts to jeer you, as if you're somehow culpable for anything at all that happens at the Ryder Cup you're captaining. Just tell him to F off.
Like the 12th hole at Augusta.
In summary, this is a vibes-only role. Make sure the team knows you're cool, or else you'll be subject to scorn and ridicule by the masses for the rest of your career. Definitely don't let them call you sir. Also, I'm totally available to be your number one ass cap. Guessing you lost my number. Just ask JT. We're boys for life. I'll be looking down on you at Bethpage. Big J got me a corporate hookup, and look forward to you joining me on the other side. All the best, Zeej.
Zeej. God, he could be there. I mean, I've heard the bill that the PGA America runs up with former.
He's not part of the former captains.
Going. Okay.
He's not. He was.
What if he gate crashes and asks to speak to the team?
I mean, these like past PGA presidents and their wives, just like thousands of dollars getting racked up on this stuff. These just absolute hangers on. One more I'm going to read. I think with KBV here, I think he did this recently. 100-hole hike. Didn't you do that?
I did. Yes.
All right. This is fantasy football punishment and reward while fantasy football is still fresh. Week 3, going into week 3. 28, no kids, no interest in fighting, with the exception of Ryder Cup captain's pick selections. I'm in a 10-man fantasy football league consisting of our former college golf team, which may or may not include someone recently spotted at a Jaguars training camp. So this could be a notable PGA Tour pro. So 10-man fantasy, former college golf team. We recently determined that our punishment for the last place finisher this year would have to complete a 100-hole hike one day next summer. We're talking about people who are playing in the middle of their season doing the 100-hole hike in the middle of the summer. I was under the assumption that the loser would have to walk the 100 holes and was very surprised when the majority of the league determined that carts would be allowed.
What?
Which is just simply not a hike at all.
Oh, that's so
I think
soft.
This is absolutely ridiculous and would completely defeat the purpose of selecting this, as it would be enjoyable and not difficult at all to play 100 holes in a cart. I have even suggested alternatives, such as playing the red tees with every birdie subtracting a hole needed to complete the punishment. But the commissioner will not budge. Am I being too harsh? Or are the other members of the league trying to get off easy in case they are proven to not be a ball knower? Always enjoy the pod. Will continue to be a loyal listener regardless of the verdict. All right. Kevin, you just walked 100 holes. I know some people sort of fudge these. They play like par 3 courses and I don't know what else. But I think you got to at least walk.
This is a disgrace. The idea of carts is an absolute disgrace. We had a great debate about this at Knowing Up, where I used to work, and I was talking about, are you allowed to take a caddy? And there was some real talk about like, no, of course you can't take a caddy. You have to carry your own bag. So what we settled on was I was going to carry my own bag. I carried 8 clubs. You can use a push cart if you want. I did not use a push cart. Carried my bag the entire way. The last 10 holes of the thing, when I was about to black out, were on a par 3 course. Basically because the big course wasn't even open anymore. We did it at East Potomac as part of the National Links Trust. And I marched my butt all the way through the first 4 rounds, playing them in about 2 hours each. And I think that absolutely you have to walk. I'll even say, if you want to have a caddy, you can take a caddy. That's on your consciousness, but you cannot take a cart. That's ridiculous. That just sounds like fun. Like what's the next thing? Like, oh, you can have a bunch of beers. You can have string to like put and make sure your birdie putts aren't that long. Like you get a golf gun cannon, an air cannon to shoot your ball on some of the holes. Like this, we had
one of those at the outing this morning. That was great. Yeah. These Mickey Mouse school outings. We had one of those. It's not the 100-hole ride. It's not the 100-hole rally. It's the 100-hole hike. It's literally in the name of it. I get that there's gray areas about par 3s and all this other. It's literally the 100-hole hike. So, this is just total abdication, and it's not a real punishment for coming in last. So that's our golf advice / fantasy football advice. All right, let's go to Flash.
We got another letter. Maybe we'll read it sometime next week in the dead period ahead of the Ryder Cup. This one's from it appears that Sam Saunders found a letter that Arnold Palmer wrote.
Oh, people are just sending us fake letters from dead people now. We're going to have a dead letter section of this podcast after Bob Uecker.
So that's what the Brewers and their fans cooked up for us.
Oh, they're jamming us.
Time
that
time of year.
Kegels. Let's do a Flashback Friday. Kevin Van Valkenburg has joined Friday Golf. He's been researching a Ryder Cup themed Flashback Friday. We are absolutely delighted to have him here to do that. One of our favorite segments. Thank you for joining us. What do you have for us today?
Fellas, I want to take you back to 2004. You might be able to guess where we're going. Something that'll allow me to do a fake, terrible Texas accent. Andy.
Hal Sutton?
Yeah, well, we'll see. Andy, you know that you and I, we used to debate often Mickelson versus Els all the time. It's kind of the genesis of our friendship. Before we really knew each other in the real world and online, we would have sort of friendly debates about who really was the second best player besides Tiger of that era. And it's sort of a sneaky move by you to wait until Phil turned into such an online weirdo and reply guy to hire me, because now my heart isn't really in this debate anymore, and I have to just sort of concede it to you. But I want to take you back to 2004 and really take a trip down memory lane, because I'm sure
Phil's
of our listeners...
Phil's longevity actually turned out to be a negative.
No problem.
Career.
I had the argument at the PGA at Kiowa.
I was so sad. I almost walked into the ocean
first four quarters, and then the overtime really,
You're staring forlornly out at the ocean as Phil was closing the deal.
Could not believe he won that.
Ernie's out here trying to cure autism in his late part of his career, and Phil is like arguing about the California Coastal Commission. He's like watching Zoom meetings and screaming at the elected officials for not regulating oil in the manner that he believes should be unregulated. But anyway, so back in 2004,
Ernie never tried his hand at minor league baseball and got soft. It was soft.
This was also that year, by the way.
God.
We know in 2004, Phil won the Masters, beating Ernie, of course. And you might remember that Phil had an incredible major season that year. He finished second in the U.S. Open, just barely losing to Retief Goosen, third at the Open Championship before he ever really figured out how to play links golf. And he just missed the playoff in that between Ernie and Todd Hamilton. And he finished sixth at the PGA, kind of one of the great Phil years of his career. I think you can make a decent case that either he or Els at this point is the best player in the world. Really.
Or VJ.
VJ. That's true. That's right.
Now.
So Tiger's going through his swing change. These guys are sort of circling. They're taking over. VJ's eventually going to become number one at the end of this year. So what does Phil do with his newfound consistency? Well, it starts, of course, with him wanting to renegotiate his equipment deal with Titleist. He wanted a lot more money, even though he was getting about $4 million a year. He's playing the best golf of his life, and in his mind, it's time for Uncle Wally to pay up. But Titleist is not interested in negotiating, particularly not in the case of Mickelson. Why is that? Well, it seems that at some point, Phil's brother Tim had gotten a hold of some Callaway equipment and really liked it. And Phil called up a Callaway rep and left him a voicemail praising the ball and the driver, talking about how great they were. It's weird that someone who seemed super close to being indicted for insider trading would leave such an obvious evidence that could be later used against him. But the rep apparently played this voicemail for an entire room full of people at the Callaway National Sales Meeting, which enraged Titleist. So the relationship was a little frosty already.
Fair enragement there, I would say.
For sure. Okay. Giving a guy $4 million a year, and he's praising the competitors
on the record,
equipment.
Essentially. Yeah. Okay.
So Titleist decides, after some negotiation, to let Phil out of his contract 16 months early. And bam, suddenly, like weeks later, he has a deal with Callaway. Amazing how quickly that came together. So for years, unsubstantiated rumors circulated that Callaway had agreed to cover Phil's gambling debts as part of this deal. Yeah. Well, why would people think something like that? The rumor still exists on the internet today. It's never completely unsubstantiated, never been proven, almost certainly false. But why did it persist? Well, because Callaway actually already did that once for another prominent player. In 1997, Eli Callaway agreed to pay off John Daly's $1.8 million gambling debts as part of their endorsement deal. At the time asked if Callaway bailed him out, Daly replied, yeah, he has. The debt is something down the road that I would have been able to pay, but he told me I'm going to set everything straight. So, of course, people wondered, like, was that the deal with Phil? Again, we don't ever know. Of course, it's almost certainly untrue, but the rumor still persists on message boards and Twitter and all things today. So Phil gets his new clubs, and he's got a whole offseason to get dialed, right? Well, nope. He's actually got the Ryder Cup coming up in 2 weeks. Callaway doesn't even have irons or wedges ready for him yet. He's going to work with Roger Cleveland on those. So he's playing just their woods and their ball in the Canadian Open, which is right before the Ryder Cup. And you know who doesn't love this is Ryder Cup captain Hal Sutton, particularly after Phil finishes 57th at the Canadian Open.
Imagine this in the modern media scrutiny, like every tweet is crosshairs. Like, you know, we freaked out for, I think it was Whistling Straits. Remember Bryson was doing the lawn drive and he's like, I'm so exhausted. I'm doing lawn drive. And then like people were like,
didn't
what
celebrate
the hell?
with the team. He left on Sunday night.
What the hell? He's training for lawn drive and he has the Ryder Cup next week. And I mean, I just think about Phil doing this on the doorstep of the Ryder Cup. All right, the modern media.
Phil dismisses any concern about this. And he says, I felt that it was in my best interests and the best interests of the team that I do this now. The biggest concern I thought would have been the ball. But I am so excited about this ball. There is no change from the most critical area from 150 in as far as softness and performance. It only goes longer for me. I'm excited about it. So for me to play my best, I need to be excited about what I have. And I am. And I think that will ultimately be best for the team if I can win points. Sutton, of course, you know, he doesn't really know what to do exactly. But of course, what does he do? Well, he decides to pair Phil with one Tiger Eldrick Woods the first two matches of the Ryder Cup. However, he doesn't actually tell either of them until they arrive in Michigan. They're 2 days before the competition starts, and he lets them know that they are going to be paired together. Now, you can actually watch their four-ball match on YouTube, which I did, being the masochist that I am, against Patrick Harrington and Monty. Patrick actually has his hair dyed blonde. It's a fun trip down memory lane if you're interested. Yeah, it's a bizarre. A bunch of Westwood too also had his hair dyed blonde.
2004. This is like Frosted Tips mania.
Yeah, these boys are full NSYNC kind of era or something. You know, they're
Eminem
really
in Detroit. I don't know. In Detroit, maybe. Yeah. I don't even know.
So I wanted to see this. I want to know, like, was Phil really that bad? Because it always kind of been in my mind as a Phil guy that Tiger acted like a big baby during this match. And then he definitely does sulk his way around. But right from the opening tee shot, you could see that Phil is fucking terrible. The second he hits his opening drive, people are screaming 4 left. 4 left! It goes like 30 yards offline into the crowd. He's actually a little bit worse than I even remembered. Like, he leaves his first putt on the first green like 30 feet short. Europeans quickly go 2 up. And they would really be like 4 down if not for Tiger kind of like playing his ass off. Joseph and I did a little sort of alternate shot thing where we talked about whether Tiger deserves some of his like Ryder Cup record is coming out tomorrow.
Friday
and I make the case that Tiger's better in a lot of ways than his Ryder Cup record because he plays his butt off for the first part of this match until he basically just can't stand like dragging Phil around. Phil does make a birdie on 7 to get them back to 1 down. But like Harrington and Monty are just throwing darts. They are 6 under through the first 9. It's just like unbelievable. And again, like when people play against Tiger, they're always bringing like their absolute best.
Sure.
So Phil basically does nothing. He looks like he's scared to hit driver for half the time. He's like hitting these bunty little 3-woods down the thing to find the fairway. He basically does nothing until he and Tiger are dormy. And then he makes a birdie on the 16th hole just to extend the match a hole. But it's like, you know, in the 17, they both completely missed thing. Andy, I cannot tell you, like, over and over and over, seeing Phil, he was bragging about how this ball goes longer, just missing greens long. Just basically with wedges, like sailing it into the deep rough. It's lovely. And of course, you know, Oakland Hills, these big like turtleback greens, like saucer greens, he can't, even with his short game, he can't get up and down. So what does Hal Sutton do after they lose?
I think something here is the ball science in 2004 was not like it is now. I think switching golf balls now would not be as big of a deal. In 2004, you're talking about like the very beginning of solid core golf ball technology. So
I was thinking
like a lot of variability.
Did Callaway have a ball on the market yet? Was that
Callaway?
were they selling
It's
a
the
ball?
Hex Tour.
The Hex Tour.
Yes.
It came right after the rule. Their first one, I think, first solid core ball was the Rule 35, and it came in blue or red.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the Hex Tour.
The Hex was
this
it.
ball.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So, as if Phil didn't have enough trouble playing his own new ball in his first match, he's going to get to play a different ball in his next match, which is definitely what you want to do to someone who doesn't know how far their golf ball is going, is make them play a completely different ball in alternate shot. There's not footage of this on YouTube, except for a kind of a brief highlight film. But you know, the fake media would have you believe that this is a blowout. And it actually wasn't, because Phil and Tiger actually go 3-up through the first 5 holes, because Tiger, again, is playing his ass off. He hits an unbelievable 3-wood into the second green, gives Phil essentially like a 4-footer for eagle.
Who are they against?
They're playing Westy.
They're playing Westy
and Darren Clark.
Okay.
But Westy and Clark, again, they're playing great. They're throwing darts. They sort of claw their way into a 1-up lead. And they're leading on 17. They can close out the match, but Westy dumps a shot in the bunker, can't get out, and they throw a gift to Phil and Tiger, and so it's all square going into 18.
God, this is so rare. That's so unlike Westy to do that late in a round.
This is what most people remember about this Ryder Cup is what happens. Phil decides to take 3-wood off the tee, trying to just get it in the fairway, give Tiger a shot, and he blows it, just wipes it so far right that it bounces like way offline, probably 40 yards offline, and goes up against the boundary fence. Tiger thinks about playing it left-handed, can't do it, has to take a penalty, and the Euros win the match with a bogey on the 18th hole, because Tiger and Phil make double. And so the two of them go 0-2. Hal Sutton, of course, asked the media about, you know, he remember Hal was wearing that cowboy hat around.
How could we forget?
For the opening ceremonies. He took the cowboy hat off and put on a regular cap, and you can see him sort of growling in the background of some of these matches. He's asked about it, and he says, I'm going to have to put that cowboy hat back on. And this time I may get the reins out too and make them wet. Which,
what does that mean?
It means basically you're whipping your horse.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't speak cowboy, but that's what I thought. Okay.
So asked about, what the plan is with Phil and whether the equipment stuff was a distraction. Hal said, we'll all be left scratching our heads about that. We all want answers to that. But the most important person that's going to have to wonder about that is going to be Phil Mickelson. It's not going to cause us any grief in the morning, because he's going to be cheering instead of playing.
Sit your ass down. I mean, think about the quote from like in the middle of between days, in the middle of the Ryder Cup, not 20 days later when you might get some like a little bit of like red ass or a little bit of jabs. Before you have 2 more days of play, he's going to sit his ass down. It's not our problem. Like it's not.
He's going to be cheering instead of playing.
That's crazy.
I kind of low key love Hal Sutton. I mean, a disastrous captainship, but like incredible entertainment.
Phil also like the best player in the world among the two. You know. Anyways, all right.
So after Saturday, he gets his lone win with David Toms, and he basically says, that he doesn't have any regrets. What I can't live with is going with somebody else's opinion and having it be wrong. I know I made the right decision. Nobody else believes it, but I can live with that. If I went the other way and played with something that everybody else thought was right, but I didn't, that I can't live with. So it was a mistake I can live with, but it wasn't a mistake. Some very
the rationalization,
lawyer speak here.
Circular logic and rationalization is incredible. Was a mistake I can live with, but it wasn't a mistake. Okay.
So Sutton defends Mickelson a little bit at the time. He says, you know what? Phil Mickelson is capable of playing good golf with anything. That's all I'll say. You'd think this, the U.S. gets absolutely destroyed in this Ryder Cup, 18 and a half to 9.5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And this kind of dies down. It's kind of thought of for many years as this disastrous pairing between the two of them. But, it's kind of dead until 2016 when Phil is taking some questions. Now, of course, he's coming off of 2014 where he just absolutely just took a bayonet and shoved it in Tom Watson's back in front of the media. And they're asking him kind of like, what kind of difference can a captain make? And Phil is basically saying, that sometimes a decisive captain can be good or can be bad. He says, Tiger found out the year before when we played the President's Cup in 2003 that the golf ball I was playing was not going to work for him. He plays a very high spin ball and I play a very low spin ball. So we had to come up in 2 days with a solution. So I grabbed a couple dozen balls and I went off to the side and tried to learn his golf ball in a 4 or 5 hour session, kind of isolated on one of the other holes out there, trying to find out how far the ball goes. And it forced me to stop my preparation for the tournament, to stop chipping and stop putting and stop sharpening my game and stop learning the golf course in an effort to crash course and learn a whole new different ball that we were going to be playing. In the history of my career, I've never done ball testing 2 days prior to a major. I've never done it. It doesn't allow me to play my best. What allows me to play my best is to learn the course, sharpen my touch on the greens, sharpen my chipping out of the rough and ball striking and so forth. So instead, I'm taking 4 or 5 hours and I'm trying to learn another ball to allow us to play our best. Now, had we known a month in advance, we might have been able to make it work. I think we probably would have made it work, but we didn't know until 2 days prior. This, I would like to point out, is just in a press conference. Phil just decided to
for this. I was in the room for this. I was like, just a pig in shit. Like, all right, we're going back to Halimony.
Now, Phil does what he often does here. He says, I loved how decisive Hal Sutton was. I just loved his decisiveness. But that's an example, starting with the captain, that put us in a position to fail. And we failed monumentally, absolutely. Well, Golf Digest, of course, reaches out to Hal Sutton during this Ryder Cup. And Hal gets, they find him out on the range somewhere. He's doing like one of those old guy, clinics or something. Hal says, nothing surprises me in the world we live in today. I don't think I can win saying anything. I find it amusing that it's an issue here at the 2016 Ryder Cup. I think Phil better get his mind on what he needs to have it on this week instead of something that happened 10 years ago. Y'all write what you want to instead of me wanting to do this. I mean, my God, somebody's got to be the fall guy. If it needs to be me, I could do that. If he wants to put the blame on me, then let him do it. I still need to shoulder the blame for Phil, then I'll do that. Hal wasn't done there.
I was going to say.
You know what? He didn't even call me and tell me that he was changing equipment. He had his agent, Steve Lloyd, call and tell me. And he changed not only equipment, he changed his ball too. So print that. Print that. Print that. He let his whole team down. And he's talking about Hal Sutton. He let his whole team down.
Doesn't feel like he's shouldering blame. Doesn't feel like he's shouldering blame.
He said, they asked him kind of why did you want him to play together? Well, with the passing of Arnold Palmer, Arnold and Jack didn't start out to be the best of friends because it was kind of the dethroning going on there. And they ended up being just great friends. And I felt like the world of golf would be better if Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson became friends. And it felt like if they played together and had fun and beat somebody, they would end up being friends. Well, you know what? They didn't beat anybody. So it couldn't be their fault. It had to be somebody else's fault. It had to be Hal Sutton's fault. It had to be. Do you think I had anything to do with how poorly he played? Y'all remember how bad it was. He hit a 3-wood against a fence on the last hole. A 3-wood. A 3-wood. That's the story y'all need to be writing. So, Mickelson apologized to Sutton, said, I stuck my foot in my mouth. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to disparage him. It's just another instance of me and my big mouth. I just wanted to say that boldness was a virtue. I didn't really mean to get into that. I apologize profusely. I've texted Hal, reached out to him, blah, blah. That's got to be the end of it, right? Like, there's no way that this is going to go on.
Yeah.
No. Well, just a month ago, in an interview for Bunkered Magazine, and I'm going to quote a bunch from it, and he says it here, the Hal Sutton is a week that I tried to block out from my life. I pretty much quit golf after that. This feud has now been going on for 20 years, essentially. He said, from the outset, Phil asked me 10 times a day who he's going to be paired with. He knew he was disadvantaged because he didn't know how far the ball was going, but he didn't know what his clubs were doing. He wanted help. He was really wanting help. I look back at that and I think, you know what? We should have cut him clean. Drop Phil, just sit him the whole time. On Wednesday, he's out on the other course trying to figure out how far the ball was going. He wasn't even going to play golf. He didn't even play a practice round. I said, there are 35,000 people here to watch Phil Mickelson play, and you're going to go out on the other golf course? Sutton added that Mickelson's behavior really hurt the team and caused a lot of tension. The Ryder Cup requires you to not be selfish. That's the difference between the European and the American teams. They come together. I'll tell you what, it definitely hurt. All I can tell you is I was glad when the week was over. I honestly I don't have the courage to say what I really think about Phil. This is my favorite part.
I feel like you've tap danced into it.
Had the PGA of America told the real story, I wonder if Liv would have carried the weight that it did with Phil. It might have changed the whole course of how things went.
What? I don't follow that. What does that mean?
I guess maybe if Phil's reputation would have been like completely savaged at that point, that he wouldn't have, carried the weight that it did, and he wouldn't have been able to start up a new league and change the history of golf. It's unclear. But
maybe being dense, but that feels cryptic about something. Like PGA of America needs to tell the whole story, release the tapes or something.
Exactly.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Don Ray needs to release the Epstein tapes.
Can I follow up just a little bit?
Guys, I just want to add one. This doesn't have anything to do with it, but one of my favorite Hal Sutton quotes. He's been divorced 4 times. In 2004, the European media is still
by him like that.
Still bringing up. Well, it's relevant in a sec here.
All right.
It's still bringing up Brookline, and do you think you guys have to apologize for Brookline? And of course, the U.S. has apologized like in 2002, and and Hal's in the presser, like the first presser of the whole Ryder Cup. Says, y'all acting like an ex-wife. Y'all just need to get over it. We've damn apologized enough times. All right.
He's a foremost expert on ex-wives.
He truly knows. When it comes to ex-wives, Hal could relate. He can understand. Europeans are just acting like a scorned wife.
That's so good. You got to add Sutton to the. I mean, I don't know. Have you used Sutton before?
No, this is the Sutton debut.
That was good.
Just for y'all.
Good
I gotta add something in here. I was curious about this. This brought back another memory of my childhood of Phil. So this was 2004.
Okay. Yes.
Decides to switch balls to what he deems as a better. What he spins as a better ball. Right.
Yep.
Just 1 year earlier, Phil said that him and Tiger get along. He doesn't think that they have any issues. And then he goes, well, maybe one. He hates that I can fly it past him now. He has a faster swing speed than I do, but he has inferior equipment. Tiger's the only player who's good enough to overcome the equipment he's stuck with.
That did not go over well. But Tiger
or Nike. With it, with a new driver and ball from Titleist, Mickelson's hitting it longer than ever. Mickelson's comments infuriated Nike, which provides Woods with his ball, driver, and irons. It is assertion that Woods' inferior equipment is holding him back, and talent is the only thing keeping him competitive. Gave the folks at Nike, as one official put it, locker room bulletin board material. I question his motives for saying what he did. Bob Wood, the president of Nike Golf, told the Orlando Sentinel on Tuesday. I really question the wisdom of Phil Mickelson calling out Tiger Woods. This is a guy who has never beaten Tiger in any significant tournament. And this is what he believes, what he says? That's a laughable assertion.
God. So we start this with him enraging Titleist. He's enraged Nike the year before. He's got voicemails floating around. Just incredible. He puts his foot in his mouth in 2016, 12 years later, and gets Hal on the just talking about how he let his team down when like the bodies are buried at that point. He exhumes them and just brings it back up to talk about it.
I think every 5 years we should ask Hal Sutton about this. Just keep getting deeper into the.
I got a shoulder. I love the fact is like, it's fine. I'll just put it all on me, shoulder the blame. And then he just went nuclear. He turned, he's like, no, actually, no, I'm not shouldering.
I don't have the courage to say what I really think about Phil.
He definitely. Did you see what Lanny Watkins said the Euros are wusses today?
No.
I think on Golf Channel. Speaking of like them being sensitive about Brookline, he goes, I mean, we got the same treatment over there. We just never complained about it. Sometimes I think the Europeans are just a bunch of wusses and can't handle the heat. So here we go. Let's get Hal, Lanny, these types out there just throwing quotes as we go to. I'm telling you, you need an old timers like 3-hole match at the start of the week or midweek.
Yes, you do.
Just get these guys
so
talking.
great. I think a senior like Ryder Cup would be kind of a banger.
Yes.
Like just honestly, 12 old guys on each side. Let them like renew some of these old cranky rivalries. It'd be awesome.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would reinstated AMs be allowed to play in it?
That's a great question.
Kevin, thank you for the Flashback Friday. This was a fun Friday episode. We're going to be doing more of these, I assume.
Before we go,
yes,
we should remind people about the book.
Oh, we have a book.
We're making. We're making. I guess we're in the process of making. We've laid it all out. A coffee table book for our 10-year anniversary as the company. It'll be golf courses, writing about them, and beautiful photography, graphics, the theme of it is golf courses that shape fried egg golf. So
and the binding's beautiful. It's a very nice. It's a meaty, hearty book. It's a great looking piece to put on your coffee table or shelf or whatever.
I heard some rumors LeBron was walking around with this today. Just a rumor, unsubstantiated. We'll see if that holds. If that proves to be true.
I think there's rumors of.
You never know.
PGA Tour on
see what shows up on our socials.
What's the game he was playing, PJ?
PGA 2K, the tour. Yeah, PGA 2K, however you want to phrase it.
He was getting
big gamer, big reader, LeBron, famous reader, loves The Godfather.
Love it. All right, everybody, enjoy your weekends. Hey, next time
you buy that at proshop.thefriedegg.com.
That's right.
We also have honestly, I guess we're doing a sale here, but like a great deal. You can bundle it with the Friday Golf Club membership. Like, I don't know. I know I'm a part of the company. I'm biased, but as a consumer as well, that's a great deal because then you're a member and that lasts a year and you get this hard copy book. I think it's a really good deal bundled together.
If you're a Friday member, you can come ask me a Q&A to my question in the Q&A tomorrow. That's
we're kind of like this. We're riding you like Seabiscuit here in week 1 KVV. You got to hang out. It'll be good on Fried Egg Pod.
I've been sitting around doing nothing for like 3 months. Let's ready to go.
All right. We'll be back. We'll be up at Ryder Cup next week. We'll have a Sunday show from our houses, but then we'll be together.
All right, gentlemen.
All four of us.
Welcome to Congressional Country Club.
Couple of Joseph.
Today, that persistent championship testing rain is settling in.
We're ready.
It's one of those days. That rain. It has a way of testing more than just your swing, doesn't it? This isn't just about skill anymore. It's a profound test of will, that rain. It washes away the unimportant, leaving just the essence of the fight. Experience, that's their shield. Focus, their guide. And the sound of that rain on the umbrella, their concentration. Each drop, a little nudge, stay present, shot by shot. Even the dampness in the air has a way of sharpening the senses, doesn't it? You don't fight the rain, you play through it. This isn't a round to be endured, it's a round to embrace. Victory in these conditions, it's not just won, it's weathered, it's earned. Championships aren't won on Thursday, but they can be lost.
Senior PGA Championship Thursday video essay. from PGA of America President Don Rea.
Cannot wait for.
Got to do that next week. He's got to do a few, right? For PGA Social, right? Like the not Ryder Cup Social, not NBC, but just PGA Social.
Do you think PGA Social is going to throw a ball down in the third fairway and be or fourth fairway? Three is a par three. Fourth fairway, 150 yards. What club are you hitting from here on Sunday of the Ryder Cup?
I might do that. All right.
I was informed by multiple people this week that we've been pronouncing his name wrong.
I mean, the die is cast there. We're done. We're not going back on anything. What are we supposed to say, Ray?
It's just Ray. It's not Ray.
But that's not. Sorry, nope. That's not changing. No.
I blame JJ Barea.
That's PGA of America President Don Rea Jr., PGA Master Professional and owner / operator of Augusta Ranch Golf Club, Arizona. That's literally what they put as his title. Holy shit. All right, that's as long as this podcast episode almost. Everyone enjoy your weekends. Buy the book at Pro Shop Fried Egg. Let's get ready for Ryder Cup. Thank you for your support. We can't wait for next week. Talk to you on Sunday or Monday morning.